All right, in this video, I am going to install Eclipse IDE and then import a project from GitHub and then fiddle around with it to get it to build. And pretty much nobody should care about this. So you should probably turn this video off right now. Okay, this is going to be a video about installing Eclipse and building a project that I download from GitHub. So we want to look for Eclipse. Eclipse installer download. That looks good. All right, so it looks like we want to just do this. Okay. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. Presume it's thinking about it, doing something. Oh, there it goes. I guess I could pause it. Something interesting might be happening here. Now just take all the defaults so that if anything weird happens, yeah, oh yeah, I read it all. Yeah, I take all the defaults. So if anything weird happens, I say, hey, I started fresh. I took all the defaults. This weird thing happened. Because my luck in installing stuff and having it work the first time. Artifact download is progressing very slowly. Installation process line fetching. Well, I'm not in a huge hurry. I'll just hit pause for you guys. It's saying that I could use a mirror to download to make it faster, but how do you switch in midstream? Or can you? There it goes. Installation completed. Oh, I guess we'll just launch. Okay, Eclipse workspace. Use this to the default. I've used Eclipse on other machines and I never use more than one workspace. Takes a minute to start up Eclipse on this machine. This is a Windows 7 Lenovo laptop, and I'm not sure what, let's see, system properties. Guess I shouldn't show you my product ID maybe. Windows Professional, Service Pack 1. Oh, now it's going to go back to the browser for a minute. First, do this. I was looking for the megahertz. Okay, 2.6 gigahertz with 8 gig of memory. I don't mean too much to me. Okay, it wanted me to look at this. Oh, they're kind of looking for support. Gotcha. All right, I'm going to do that right now. Here's Eclipse welcome page. Check out project from Git is what we want to do eventually. I saw on here that this install included a thing to connect you with the Git. So maybe, if I'm lucky, I'll be able to connect and pull down a project and see if it builds, which is the whole purpose of this video, which I don't even think I mentioned yet. GitHub, that's what I want. Search for repositories to clone. I have no idea. Huh. Interesting. There's people that have stuff that I've never seen before. CwHelper bot and CwHelper website. I wonder if those are just completely not associated with my CwHelper, because 2 letters are unique here, just CW, right? Anyway, this isn't what I want. Okay. No choices to be made here. When fetching a commit, also fetch its tags. Sure, I don't know. Okay, local storage. I am going to take the defaults. Select the wizard when importing projects. Import existing Eclipse projects. Import using the new product. Oh boy, I've had troubles with this in the past. Yeah, see, I wouldn't say that this was an Eclipse project because the artifacts saved in GitHub probably don't include like Eclipse-y things, I'm afraid. Now it could, but I don't think it does. So if I said import using Eclipse, it's probably not going to be happy. So let's just see what happens. I think it's not going to be happy. And it probably will complain and probably give us a chance to use the new project wizard, I guess. Okay. Okay. Bigger. But don't cut anything off. This area down here on the bottom of the screen is pretty important. I don't think it's showing my cursor. Okay. I stopped and changed it. Now my cursor is showing. I had to change a setting. All right. So let's see. Let's just see what this is saying here. Oh. Oh, okay. So we just need to find out where those libraries are. And they're in a place called here, not version text. Let's see if we can just add all those in one fell swoop. Build path. Oh. Weird. Let's call it CwHelper lib. Add jars. Okay. Okay, so this has all our jars in it now. Yeah, I'm not sure why these are still showing. Are they the right ones? Yes. Maybe it just needs to build again. To all path errors. Oh, never mind. These are all my dev Eclipse work. This is my old machines. Hmm. Let's see here. I think we can just nuke those. So anyone that says my dev in it is not necessarily. We decent. We remove them. Wait a minute. This is just moving them up and down. Oh, here. Remove. Okay. So my dev, etc. Move those. Oh, this is not enough. Building. down here. Boom, baby. It's looking good. Okay, so do I dare? I presume it's building. I think it is. This is my deployment thing. Oh, you know what I don't have on here? Jar to exe. I'm gonna have to get jar to exe on this machine. So, well, let's just do that. Oh, wait a minute. I might have that. No, I don't. No, I don't. I gotta get it. Okay, so I have 2.5 on my other machine. Install file. If you don't know which file to download, please select this one. The green package without install. Oh, let's go the simple route. Alrighty then. This is a zip file. Oh, and here's the installer. All right. Looks like it was installing with admin, which I'm glad. Some of these things will install without admin, and then they'll break, and you're like, well, why is this breaking? I didn't think about that when I installed Eclipse. Hopefully that's not going to be a problem. All right, so jar.exe is now installed. This is off the screen for you, I know. Okay, I believe I'm in the trial period right now, and I believe I will need to send this machine ID to the developer and have him give me the username registration key. You're allowed to do it on like your next machine that you're moving to. I think there's a certain number of things. I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pause this and do that now just so I don't forget. Actually, I think it might be an online thing. Let's try that. Oh, that's another thing I didn't add, my password thingy. Okay, I'm logged in. And let's see. Activate. After purchase. Orders are processed automatically and immediately. Username, password. You can register your key at this location. Oh boy, I probably shouldn't include this. I'll have to cut that out because I don't want this thing. Well, maybe I can blur it. Might be an interesting project. Create a new key with a machine ID, which I believe I've got copied into my, oh, it's gone. Craps. Machine key is not going to be secret. But this is going to be secret. Oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. I want this. Username. Did it say? Registered. Okay, it's my email address. Activate. Registered successfully. Okay, so now this is ready to go. Okay, we don't have to do that right now, but I just want to make sure that this is ready to go. So we won't use that right now. And my passwords. Oh, look. This is the way I see this is it's all populated, and where you see it is black. That's KeyPass XC, where I have my password stored. That's convenient. All right. Now here's project directory, which is not the same anymore. Oh, and I got a key store in there, and this might be different. And key store password, I don't really care that you see that. It's just like if somebody gets my JKS file, they can unload it. It's like, good luck getting it. I mean, sure, I almost give it to you. I don't really care. There's nothing in there. Anyway, let's see. Let's figure out let's figure out the first one. I'm going to do it the way I usually do it. Hopefully it's not the dumbest way in the world, but why did I go here? I just wanted to find the Java properties. Huh, goes there. Resource. Oh, because I was not done with this? This is what I was looking for, just this path right here. Okay, and that's what it's called. I'm going to hit copy to grab that. And then I'm going to come over here. Oops. Whoa. The paste automatically put in the extra backslashes. That's a new thing. That's nice. That's users admin git CwHelper. It put this in here. Is that where the source code went? Yep. It didn't go into like Android Studio somewhere. Not Android Studio. Eclipse. Okay, let's see where this jar to exe ended up. That's where it ended up. It's in the same place. So that doesn't have to be changed. Excuse me. Okay, this is going to have to just be added. I don't think I actually use this because I don't sign the I don't think I signed. I think I was using this to sign the jar file, and I'm not signing the jar file anymore. So the way I usually do this, probably not the smartest way in the world, but I usually just screw it up and then I come down here and find out. Looking at this red bar right here on the right, where am I using this thing? And this, yeah, sign the jar file. So if I don't sign the jar file, that variable will never get used. So if it's wrong, and right now I've got do jar signing. If I right click and say open, very fine, open declaration, false. So signing prevents Terry from iterating on his own. And if you ever wanted to make a JKS file and use the signing, you could just change everything to do with that. All right. So that's that. JRE path. Oh, that one's going to have to be changed. Because I'm using the JRE from Android Studio on my other machine. This machine, not so much. Let's see how to find that out. Okay, I don't know exactly where that's set, but we'll poke around. I think it's that's a source. Non-modifiable deprecated, huh? Hey, here we go. Install JREs. Oh my God, look at that path. That's a monster path, I'm telling you. Let's just poke it into a command prompt for a second, just see if it's. Okay, well. There's no. Oh, maybe it's. So there's a bin. Yeah, so if I did cd bin and then did a dir dir.exe, oh yeah, look at that. Java exe. That's what we want. Right there. So we know that that's legit. So what do we paste that in here? That monster path. Yep, there it is. And it puts the backslashes in there. Oh boy, this was easier than I thought it would be. Let's see if this runs. Oh, wait a minute. What do we got here? Oh, I haven't connected this up with my source control. So what this does is it uses a source control version number and buries it into the build so that I don't have to do it manually. It pulls the revision out. And I have got on my other machine Tortoise SVN, which connects to another machine that has my Subversion source control on it. So in order to do this without that, I would have to pull the version out of the version in GitHub instead of Subversion source control, my local source control. I have two source controls for this project. On my other machine, I have one project that's connected to Subversion, and that's where I do my work. And then the other project is connected to GitHub source control. And if we wanted to move this project over to using exclusively GitHub, this doesn't make any sense to keep. Oh, cron. Okay, I think what we'll do here is we'll just have a local value on the disk, and we'll just increment that, and that will be our version. So every time you run this build, it'll increment. This is the idea. Yeah, I guess I'll keep the recording going. I don't know. You can skip this if it's not interesting, but we're going to need a name of a file, and we'll just put it here. We'll call it version file name. And we won't put a path on it. We'll just call it version.txt. I think we used that in our jar file. So now we have a version file name. And what were we calling that? Let's add a new method and call it, oh shoot, that screwed this up, didn't it? Get revision from file. And I think what we'll do is return a number, and then we'll increment it. All right, now let's say we want to make a file name string. And we have, what's this called? Oh God, this is long. Builder build. And we have a project directory. And we have a version file name. And the project directory ends with a backslash already. No, it doesn't. So I forgot what the separator thing is. So we'll just do that. Okay. Now we want to see if it exists. If we don't have a new file, okay. So if we don't have this, stop it. There. Then we want to make one. How do we do that? Okay. I think I just realized something. Yes, we do have this file, version text. It's in the lib folder, CwHelper lib. We've got that already, so we don't really need this. Let's see, wait a minute. Oh, here we go. We don't really need this. Oops. I can't spell it. Yeah, there's a refactor button I could have done. Oh well, that's that. But we use this wdirlib. We use this. Well, let's put that in here too, just to be complete. What do we want to name this? Library directory. Oh, wait a minute. Library directory is going to be how does this work? If this is project directory plus that, there's no separator. Okay, this must have had a separator in the original, and when I copied it over, it didn't. Otherwise, that would never work because you can see that project directory concatenated with CwHelper lib is going to be a problem. So that was there originally, and when I changed project directory, I didn't put it back. So we don't need, where was that? This will be fine without that. All right, that helps. And then we can use library directory. Here's a refactor. See if I can do this. They was just going, shut up. Well, I guess if I would have got rid of this, it wouldn't have complained. Oh, I don't need to get rid of this. And I don't think I need this anymore. Oh, but I'm using it down here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me do that same thing. Undo that. Probably will complain if I refactor this. There, now these say project directory wherever it needs to, and library directory where it needs to. I don't need to do all this. Here's where we're going to put in our new method instead. Oops. Thought it would give me a chance to see what I named the dang thing. Oh, I guess since it's not compiling, it's not going to let me see it. Excuse me. Now, this revision is just a number, just it's a string. That's the way I want that thing to operate so that I can increment it. All right, and then I'll just say that revision is equal to plus plus. Now, if this was implemented, this might work. And if this doesn't work, you could change this to true, put whatever revision you want in there, and this would be fine if this doesn't work somehow. Let's see if we can get that to work. All right, so if this exists, now if this doesn't exist, we want to create one. We want to write a file out. So what we want to write out is going to be it's kind of full revision text because it's got this 5,0,0 in front of it. So full revision text equal to, let's just grab it, this comma version. Excuse me. Plus, and let's just start with 1,000. Okay. And we've got a method to write it to the live directory already, I believe. Oh, this is static. Let's see. Could pull it in. Let's try this. Right, there it is. Write version to live directory. The file path looks good. Full revision text. Oh boy, not sure what each of these is. I know I want to return and we'd be done there. But let's see what each one of these is. Version. So write the version and the revision. Okay, they're separate here. So this is just the 5,0,0. This is the number. All right, so let's hit this back arrow here. And yeah, this is not right at all. We don't want this. We just want revision here. And we want this to say revision, I think. I forgot. Version and revision. Oh, it's version and revision. Okay. So this one is revision. And this one is just the forgot what we called it. Comma version. Ah. And this is the file name, right? Version file name. Which I call it file path here. I don't need this stuff. Cluttered it up. All right. Now we need to read it if it does exist. I guess just to be clear, we could put an else here. All right, well, these are always prone to problems. So, oops. Oops. Get this right here, syntax. So let's say and do we oh, what am I doing? And then we need to hold a text somewhere. And this is the way I usually do this. It probably is a better way, but this is not obvious when a newbie is looking at this, what this is doing. But the way this works is this read line itself and the assignment happen. And then if that is null, that means the file is at the end. So it'll just keep going until it gets to the end of the file. And it's the way I've always done it. It's probably a new Java thing. And we'll make it look like the file itself by putting a new line at the end. Now, normally, in this case, I believe we will just have one line. And then we need to close it. So now we should have a thing that looks like this. I think there's 2 zeros and then some number. Oh, but that's not in a string yet. So, oh, do we want to use the buffer to get? We just want this. Well, I know how to do it in a string, so I'll do it in a string. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, what I want to do is just make sure I don't get any extra stuff. So then I know that the buff, oh wait a minute, I want to call it something else. Call it for and this is what could blow up. One of the things that can blow up. So what that does is it makes, so this is an array actually. I sometimes do this in one step, but we'll do it in 2 steps. But we want the last, what this does is split this up into an array that looks like, it'll look like this. These will be strings, but, oh, wait a minute, let me comment here. It'll look like this. And so I want to see how many, so this is 4. But so you could say, I'm doing more lines here than I really need to, but just for clarity. Normally I wouldn't do this, but since I'm recording this, somebody might watch this and wonder what I was thinking. So length is 4, probably. We want the last thing no matter what. So, but the thing is if you go to index 4, that's outside because this is 0 base, 0, 1, 2, 3. So we're going to end up kind of 1, 3. So we'll just presume this is 4. And then so we want I want to use the word version for this. Not thinking. All right. So now we have a string version of it, and here's another thing that can blow up. What is it? Integer? No, not 2. Yet. Integer version. And even though this returns an integer, the automatic unboxing turns it into an int. Now, what do we want to do with this? Oh, we got to return it. And down here, we probably will not get here. Probably don't. Oh, here. If, else. We'll see if it complains. Let's see. Do we want to print out something here or just rethrow this exception? This is just a build, so we'll have a log that we can look at. This is basically just to keep ourselves sane if things start breaking. Something bad happened. Trying to get the version out of the version.txt file. And then hey, I know what I'd do. Start what I'm going to return with something odd, and then oh, wait a minute, I'm not returning that. I'm returning this. Okay, revision number. In fact, let's do this. Let's not return from in here. That's kind of harder to read. So revision number equals 1000. Oops. Plus revision number. And then here, oh, I was using different name. Let's just refactor name revision. Oh, well, we don't need this. We won't return it there. And then when we get all done, we'll return revision number there. Oh boy. It's always interesting to see. Get revision from file. Actually, the way this will work is it will increment the existing, the way I've got it now, because this file does exist. So it's going to pull, theoretically, this will not execute, this will execute, and it will return a number from here. So in order to test this to see if it works, we can rename this. I don't really want to refactor it. Just want to rename it. Can I just I don't think it's going to find any of the things in the code that say version text. You know, that's still there. So if I run this now, it should just, in fact, rather than doing the whole shebang, let's just run get revision from file by itself. And I'll do it right at the top so I can get rid of it when I'm done. I'll just put a return here. Return if true, return. All right. Now what we want to do? Get revision from file. Print line. And it is static, so here goes nothing. Run as Java application. Okay. Get revision file from text 1000, which is exactly what we expected. And it says it's saved. So over here we don't have it yet, but usually you have to hit refresh. And we don't have it. Ew. I'm not saving it to the right place. It's down here. But it's correct. Okay, so let's delete this. Okay, so we saved to the wrong directory. We were supposed to see. Okay, let's see. Aha. File path was project directory, not whatever we called it. Not library directory. Okay. So change this to library. Library directory. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, this is the same, except for this time it says that in it. And it's not here yet, but let's just refresh. I don't know if I need to scroll up to refresh, but I always do. Version. And there it is. In the right place this time. version save is that. Okay, now that's proving that if there is no version, it will create a one that starts at 1,000. Now, delete that. And we will change this to version, rename, refactor, rename. So now this is aligning with the version 823. So we expect to see 824. This is an old thing because I'm up to 900 something in the real one. Definitely don't want to overlap them. That would be confusing. So that's why I started at 1,000. But let's just see if this increments. That's what we want testing now. So if we run this again, run as Java application. Okay, so it bombed. Something bad happened. The value of Java lang integer get integer string is null. All right, why? Let's think about this a little bit. Where is that? Here it is. It should have found the file and read it. Since it wrote it here last time, this is probably correct. I've had problems with this exists though. So it could be that even though this is sitting right there on the hard drive, this exists may or may not be operating correctly. So I'm not sure if I necessarily trust this. I always thought this should work. And it could be going in here with if it exists or not. So let's just make sure. I'll tell you what we do. So, buffer. And I'll just make little comments here. And then we can, wherever, and then let's say, only a small file, so I could basically say repeatedly append O. Apparently, rather than doing a concatenation here, it's cheaper to do this. Somebody wrote in Stack Overflow once, so I kind of believe. Here we want to say Oh, I guess we don't need that. So now we can see if it's reading. And sure, why not? Oops. Take this. Oh. Here I am using the concatenations anyway. Anyway. What else? The split. I didn't even look at what was null. Oh, this is where it bombed. Revision was null. Let's just, you can just print out the array. I think if you just do a toString on the string array, it'll print out something useful, maybe. Think. Okay, let's try it again. Huh. Oh, the progress buff. Oh, it doesn't print out anything useful, but we see that we found it. So where's the split? Split on comma. Somebody is watching this and going, "You're an idiot." Okay, I really don't know why this isn't working, except for that. Might be something like that. Probably, maybe. I don't know. Nope. Okay. I just want to. This isn't doing any good. Well, geez. Oh, it's parse int. I knew that there's somebody out there saying you idiot. There we go. And now presumably, did I write that back? No, I didn't. Not yet. I didn't increment and write it back yet. We just got the revision number. So get revision from file. So where am I looking at that? Oh, it's 2. Oh, I'm just doing it up here. Here's where I increment the revision. And then I do all the regular stuff. But right now I'm stopping here. So I'm just running this part. So I'm not incrementing and writing back yet. All right, so I am going to that's my SVN version. And I'm going to take this out. Take this out. Ah. And now it should run, except for that this thing, there's no jar file, so it'll stop. It'll have an error about the jar file. But the way I do this is I run this thing once to get the version. Then I export the jar file using the Eclipse IDE. And then I run this one more time. And then the files are ready to upload. So let's run this thing. This is the proof in the pudding here. Okay, so we have a problem here. Cannot run a program. JRE jar exec is not there. So what happened to JRE jar exec? I presume I'm calling that. Oh, jar. So I'm not doing that. Oh, there should be a backslash there. The same problem I had with the other one. Where's that monster? Ah, here it is. All right. Hit it again. Well, now jar exec is not there. Oh. Cannot find the file specified. So is jar exe missing from this version of the JRE? I have to take a break. Okay, let's see if we can find where the jar is, the jar.exe is. So oh, jeez. Difficult to do the selection here. Oh my God. Okay, let's start here. Okay, so JRE, so it's not right in that directory. Bin jar. Okay, so it's in the bin directory. It's the Jerry path anyway, so we just put bin. When we need to run that. I suppose that should do it. Where else are we using this? Jar signer is probably in the same place, I suppose. Jar signer. So we need a bin on those. Not that this is actually going to get used because we got this off right now. But save the trouble if we do turn it on. All right. Let's try it again. Uh-oh. Okay, we got farther than we've gotten before, I think. Or maybe not. Looks like we got a problem here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so here's the version text. And it says 1,000. Maybe that worked. Let's run it again and see if that goes up. Okay. I didn't do anything, and now it ran. That's weird. And there actually was a jar to rename. So this ran all the way through. But this check, the version inside the jar does not align. So if that ever happens, it can be really confusing, the release. So that's why I put that check in there. But now that it's been renamed, there is no jar file. And this is kind of the way it usually is. Usually I have to create the jar file using the tools in the IDE. I could do it in Java, but when I tried it, it didn't create the jar file correctly, so I never did figure that out. So let's run it again and have it go to the did not find jar file and see if we can get the version numbers aligned. Run as Java application. Yeah, this is what I expected. The jar was not found. And then what you do is you come up to the project and you export runnable jar. And then you have to use a launch configuration, which is which is not this. This is the one we've been running, but we need to create a launch configuration with the thing that actually starts CwHelper running in the first place. And that is located might be here or here. It's here, service launcher. So we'll just, I think if we just run it, it might, oh boy, it won't run unless I, unless I create this key. This is a new feature that we just added. But what we did just now might have solved our problems. Let's try to create the jar again. Export Java, runnable jar. Yes, we've got this in there now. And where do we want this file to go? Usually I put it right back in, where are we here? No, it's not. Oops. Yeah, I want to just grab the directory here. Okay, let's try this again. Export jar. Export runnable jar. Launch configuration service launcher. Export destination. Browse. Paste. Here. Ooh, that's weird. Oh, I know what that is. Yeah, it throws a random number at the end if it finds a conflict. File name. Okay, so that's where it's going to go. And I think I leave this default. So that finished. Okay, compile warnings. Yeah, there's a bajillion compile warnings. Okay, so now we do have a jar file, which it should rename. And it should not give us an error about the version difference. Let's see. Run as Java application. That's it, except it's not incrementing. That should have incremented. But the validation worked, but it's not incrementing. It should pull the 1000 off, increment it. I don't know why that's not happening. So this revision comes in here, it gets right. So this one should be 1000. Maybe let's just see. If this says 1001, I think we're good. It doesn't. It says 1000. So we're not good. So I would expect. So force revision is false. So we don't go there. We go here. We get the revision number from file, which is trying to find and use this. Let's put a debug statement in for that, because we've got this saving to already. And let's just make sure that the yeah, I think this is going to say 1,000. Let's see. Yes, it does say 1,000. Well, what the heck? Oh, so stupido. It's still doing it. Well, that should have worked, but I figured it out that if you put plus plus, this is the shortest version, I think. It will do it right away before that line is evaluated. If you put plus plus after it, it increments after it. And that's why I thought when I said stupido, that when I put it in a line above it, I thought that it would work, but for some reason it doesn't. Now this should work and it should be kind of what I intended originally. Yes, now it's working. And I ran this thing before and it increments. So there it's incrementing now. So that's finally working. Geez. So if we can go back to deleting this, and there's no jar file. We'll keep that. We won't do that yet. Let's delete this. And now when we run this, it should create the file as 1,000. Oh, that's interesting. Why was it? Oh, right, because the original there was no file, so it created one as 1,000. Then it pulled it and it created 1001. So that's just the way it's going to be. That's fine. Doesn't the starting number is arbitrary anyway, and it created the exe using jar to exe, and then it said, oh, it didn't find a jar file, so it couldn't make one. So once this runs once with this revision, then we can come up, export runnable jar, and now a jar is sitting out there, and we run this again. Oh no, the increment thing is messing up the alignment with the jar file because it increments the next time. Oh, I didn't think of that. Crap. So you see that when we get revision from source control, we can run this thing as many times as we want, and it will still keep returning the same thing as long as we don't have a check-in. Whereas under this half-baked scheme that I just came up with, every time we run this, it increments the revision number. And so you run it once, and it creates a new revision. Then you go over to the IDE and you create the jar file with that. Then you run this thing again and it increments, and then it doesn't align. Well, I suppose what we could do is do this conditionally based on the fact if there is a jar file or not, because we've got get version from jar file. Yes, we got get version from jar file. Look for where we use that. Right, so if we have a jar file, what does this what does this return if there is no file? IO exception? I suppose it's returns an IO exception. Let me look. Oh no, I don't have that here. Anyway, right in here, first thing we have to try is I don't think we have a jar file in here right now. Make sure. Let's collapse some of this. When I say we don't have a jar file, I'm talking about just the CwHelper.jar, not any of these other jars that have these names. In fact, these things are just kind of trash. So let's just delete them all. I keep hitting this microphone. I hope that's not too annoying. I'll try not to do that. I'm not sure exactly what this what'll happen when you call get version from jar file if the jar file doesn't exist, if it's an exception or not. So I'm going to just say if true, return, and just run that because it's at the very top of this and just see what it does. Okay, so it does throw an exception. No such file. Why is it looking up that weird name? Oh, because I've got this weird. I want to just look up regular everyday. Just this. But I think it'll throw an exception. So well, we'll just pull this right here. Back. Just this. And put it here. And let's put this all stuff in here. And now, if it doesn't exist, it will pop out here. And we can say, otherwise, we don't need to test this. Doing that parsing again. I probably should have a separate method to parse that into an array and take the last item. But because I'm lazy, I'm going to just go down and grab it, thing I did before. Okay, where was I here? Actually, I don't want, I want revision. I want revision number. Revision string is actually what I want. But in this case, I don't need to do any math on it. I want to take it. All right, so come in here, and if it makes it through here, okay, we don't want this. And we're not using this anymore. And we conditionally want to apply this. So basically, if full version equals nothing, we didn't find it, then we want to increment. Otherwise, we'll take what's in the jar. Oh my, why are these things so the way they are? All right, let's decide what we're going to do here before I start running things. So in here, we're looking at this, and we have no jar file. Thus, we should increment, right? And we've got no jar file, and it did increment, I think. Can't remember if it was 1002 or 1003. We'll do it again then. I don't think it hurts. Okay, it's 1003 now. Now it's 1004. So that's working. Now we create the jar file. Let's see. I didn't even look to see. Did we put any version inside the jar file? Okay, that wouldn't run because this blew up and it caught here. CwHelper jar does not exist. Oh, there it is, right there, the first thing. Incrementing the revision from version.txt. There, a little bit clearer. All right, now let's create the jar file and see. Export runnable jar. Shumpy shoop. Okay. Now run it again. Version inside the jar file is aligned. I think we are done. And now, usually what I do is I upload the exe in the jar. But we got a problem here in that I'm not seeing Wait a minute, I am seeing this. But the renamed one, shouldn't there be a rename? Yeah, there should be a renamed one. I'm not seeing the renamed ones of the EXEs. Oh, wait a minute, never mind. I think EXEs are just uploaded without a different name. All right, let's see here. Ugh, I gotta get the plugin for the browser. Okay, so here are, oh, the zip and the jar. Okay, that's right. I zip the exe with the name. That's the way I usually do it. Okay. So if we look here, where's the zip ending up? Zip file. Come down here. Project directory, zip destination, file name string. Okay, so it's here. Oh, they're both here. Ready to go, ready to be uploaded. Oh, where's that? Okay. New file upload. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see here. Let's upload these. Oh, what happened there? Okay, we want these two. Now, in theory, this should be, oh, you know what? I gotta make sure that there's no differences between the GitHub version and the version that I've got on my other machine. But in theory, those are the same. And they were built on this new machine. So I'll double check that, and I'm going to need to check in the changes that I made today. That should be fun. But I guess the main reason for putting 1004 up is just to make sure that it acts the same. Should. But again, built on a different system that was freshly installed with a new version of Eclipse and everything. But that shouldn't matter. Anyway, let's see if I can check in these files. All right. Close, collapse a few of these things. All right, let's see. It looks like this little greater than sign suggests that it's already under source control. And it's got these little yellow things. I think those little icons on the right there, I think that means it's kind of under source control. So that's already done. source control is turned on. And let's see what it says under team. Team. Oh, look at that. There's a commit here. Git staging. Okay, so these with the question marks are not part of source control. This one with an X might be part of source control. Unstaged changes. So those look like they don't need to go because they're jar and zip files, except for this one. And this one needs to be, the plus sign suggests it needs to be added to source control. But I don't want that added to source control. Remove from index. That sounds promising. Okay. Now, if I double click, maybe it'll show me what it used to be and what it is. Okay, it used to be empty, and now it's, no, it used to be this, and now it's this, which doesn't make sense. Because I know that that should say 1004. But it's not part of source control. Maybe what I should have done, I think I'm gonna abandon this, and I'm gonna add this to see if I can add this file to source control. Can I just add it? I guess add to index. Okay, now it's showing as a changed file. That's what I want. And this shows as a changed file because the version is buried in that jar file. And we're uploading and making available to anyone that wants it the compiled version, the exe version of CwHelper. That's actually in the as a binary available through GitHub. Not necessarily something we have to do. And this one, of course, was a file we've been fiddling around with. And I changed the class path. I didn't even remember the class path was part of the upload, but part of GitHub, but it is. All right, now oh, I like that. Commit and push. Commit message. Change build to use local versioning. That's pretty good, I think. And I've never used version control from this Eclipse installation, so this should be interesting. I'm sure I'll have to log on. And oh, by the way, you'll have to, if you wanted to do the same thing that I'm doing, you'll have to fork this project and use your own version. And then as you make changes, you can do something that's called a pull request in GitHub. And then I can pull that back into this version. This, it's not called version, but whatever. Let me try this commit and push. Okay, so it's got the right repository. It just needs a user and password. And I've got that here. Password is, you can set up what's called a non-expiring token. It starts with the letters GHP. And I set this up because it was annoying to do it any other way. It's a big long thing that they generate for you. And I am not going to put it in the secure store because I've never had luck with that. So I'll just type it each time. And it looks like it's doing something here. I'm not sure why it's taking so long. Usually it's pretty quick. Okay, here we go. Pushed to. All the things that were changed today are there. Okay, well, I think that might do it. Long and arduous journey, but I think that might do it. Oh, I was going to check to see. I got to look on my other machine, and it won't be part of this recording. But I'm going to make sure that the stuff that's currently in GitHub, the GitHub that we pulled down into this project, is precisely what I have under my other source control. Make sure there's no differences. I'm pretty sure I've got it aligned, but I'll check. And if it's not aligned, I'll push it over. All right, well, it appears that the GitHub version is now the official version of CwHelper.